What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog, coming to you guys while I'm on vacation. I had to tell you this one about the Kentucky pension scandal. Now, many people are saying, "Say what again?" Kentucky. What are things Kentucky's known for? Kentucky Derby, Mitch McConnell, a bunch of weird stuff, horses, equestrian life. Put some horses up here, Peter. Put Mitch McConnell up here. Put Kentucky bluegrass. But here's the thing, and this is why I'm going to tell y'all, everybody's arguing about, I don't want to be a business owner, Erica. Everybody can't own their house, Erica. And I want y'all to understand in this economy, it is a asset-based economy. After we got off the gold standard in 1971, it is he who owns the most assets wins, or he who has assets to sell, right? Even people in wholesaling, people get upset because sometimes wholesalers get ridiculous amounts of money, and again, there's ethical questions there. But the person who's selling the property has an asset to sell so they can get some money, right? Now, if they wanted to wait, that's the key part. They don't want to wait a month, 60 days, 90 days to sell a house through a realtor, through a proper measure to get as much money as they want from the deal. That's where wholesalers come in, right? But here's the thing. Let's get focused back to what I'm trying to say. You have to have an asset to sell in this economy. You have to have an asset you own and control and manage. There's several people I've watched their story in Memphis and in Nashville where their parents are working two jobs in their 60s. Their millennial kids are struggling, and guess what they realize? Wait a minute, that extra house or our starter home, this is something millennials don't do and Gen Xers have not done. A lot of these people have starter homes and they live in their newer retirement home or home they got when their kids were teenagers. And because of the economy, the inflation, they were able to sell their starter home and pay off all their debts so they don't have to work multiple jobs. I'm literally following a girl right now on Instagram, and that is literally what she's like. Hey, y'all, moving out of my house. And everybody's like, why are you moving? I thought your parents owned that house. My parents do own that house, but they're working extra jobs to pay for the house and all the cars they got. So they're going to sell this starter home, pay off all this debt, so my mom don't got to work two jobs. And whatever money's left, they're going to help me pay off my car and help me buy a house later. So first of all, the whole scenario is retarded, right? Because if you have a starter home, let's say it's paid off, you're going to sell it for 400,000. They could put their daughter in a brand new house. They could do another investment property somewhere or something. But when people don't know what to do, just going to say it, when they don't know what to do and they haven't been great stewards of their money, just paying off of their debts would make them in a better landing point. Because at least if the parents have a paid off house and paid off car, well, now their money can go to whatever. At the end of the day, they're still going to need retirement. And that's what people don't understand. Hey, I'm going to take all this and pay off debt. This is exactly what happened in 2008. Hey, I'm going to refinance my house and pay off all my debt. Okay, well, now what's the next plan? People don't really understand investing. So this leads into the conversation of hedge funds. I've been talking to y'all long and hard on this channel about, excuse me, family offices and why the conversation around family offices is so important and people have been ignoring me is because family offices, when you see all these mattress firms and all these dentist offices all over the place, and you're like, why do they keep building those? All these car washes all over the place, repetitive businesses that don't make a lot of money, right? Or they make a certain amount of money. They make six figures, and a lot of y'all act like that ain't enough. I'm not gonna run a car wash for 100 grand a year. I need more money. When the average person makes 30K in America. So yeah, shut that up. Um, pension funds usually buy those types of businesses in a bundle from a family office. What does the family office do? Manage it. Well, Kentucky right now, because of Russia, it's leaking like crazy. A hedge fund dumped a lot of Kentucky's pension funds into the Russian ruble. They put it in a bunch of risky stuff. In 2008, this started, and this system provides the state's firefighters, police, and other government employees pension. Now, I started all that beginning talk to get y'all to understand that you are absolutely, at the end of the day, in control of your retirement. There is nobody else who's in charge and responsible for your retirement but you. Whether you want to believe that or not, you are responsible for your retirement. Let's just get that clear. And you were retired in Texas, and they had the teachers union had problems with the retirement pensions. They realized it wasn't going to be enough money. All of a sudden, all these teachers got real alert, started paying all kinds of attention. Why? Because it became now they have to pay attention. It's something that they have to manage, and people gonna learn. They're gonna learn. That's not how you do it. So anyway, 2008, this happened. Now, several weeks after he was removed, you can read this on your own. It's in the comment section. Long story short, the remaining members of the committee approved $200 million investment in a hedge fund called Arrowhawk Capital Partners. Though he remained a trustee, only learned after the deal after the fact. All right, a lot of people keep saying they started asking questions. It didn't sound right. It was a secret session was held where they kicked me off. Right, so when shady business starts going off, people can start getting kicked off boards. Weird stuff starts happening. Former Kentucky retirement trustee Chris Tobe. Okay, sent him at his parents' house. All right. In the years since the big Arrowhead play, Kentucky's pensions have descended into a crisis that threatens to ripple across the state. Poor rural counties in Kentucky have two major economic drivers. One is the school system, and the other is the courthouse. Let me just say that one more time. One is the school system, and the other is the courthouse. Kentucky is poor as hell. They're about as poor as damn West Virginia. West Virginia at least got coal to dig in the mountains. If they have to all else fail, they'll go back. Listen, y'all think I'm joking. If all else failed, them West Virginians will be back up in the mountains digging coal for $10 an hour. They don't care. They're gonna be up in there. But West Virginia's in a worse position. Lots of greenery, lots of hills, but there's nobody wanting to start no companies there. There's nobody wanting to bring no business there. Okay. So what they have is if you go to a town, you working at the courthouse, right? You a police officer locking folk up, meth heads, all these people up, drug dealers. Or you work at the school system. You a bus driver, you a teacher. So they already told you what that means. We ain't got no money. And the people here making less than 30,000 a year. There's no disrespect to anybody in Kentucky. If anybody's from Kentucky in the chat, no disrespect, but you already see what this man is saying. And he's over the state. Okay, he's a step rep. Government jobs are number one employer. So common sense say if government jobs are the number one employer and they dependent on this pension because they don't make no money. These are the people making under 30,000 a year for sure. We should be doing what? Real tight. Real tight on what's going on, right? Real tight. Okay. So let me finish. Finish going on. Okay. According to 2016 credit rating, Standards and Poor's declared Kentucky the worst funded state pension in the country. Let me say that again. Standards and Poor's, which you guys can go look it up, declared Kentucky the worst funded pension in the country. What does that mean? They were worse than Louisiana with corruption. Okay. They were worse than Mississippi. They were worse than Alabama. They were worse than Wyoming. They were worse than. Hold on one second now. Yes. All right. So back to what I was saying. They had the worst funded. It was just worse, right? So at this point, the state meeting was 37% of its funding obligation, which is half the nation, right? The nation medium, most states got at least 74% in there, almost 75% of the money in there, right? And they got to figure out the rest. Kentucky, they got less than 40% of your money in there. So that means what? You're not getting your money. That's what that means. Tobe had never heard of Arrowhawk, and he quickly figured out why. Arrowhawk was a new fund. Okay, listen to me. I want y'all to pay attention. When I talk about these funds, when I talk about Grant Cardone and them trying to create these hedge funds, trying to create these family offices to sell these items, there's a reason. It's lots of money in it. And guess what? All these baby boomers are doing what? They're getting ready to retire. They need new companies, right? They need funds. Okay. Think about Kathy Woods, ARK Invest, all these different people. That's think of the same thing. All right. So KRS, right? Not the rapper, but actually Kentucky Retirement Systems. The staff had a proposed moving 5%, or roughly $650 million of its total pension holdings, then invested almost entirely a mix of stock and bonds into a large Dallas fund of funds, vehicles that allow investors to buy a basket of hedge funds rather than risking everything on a single fund. Instead, the staff steered the investment committee in 2009 to a startup fund with no track record. Now, let me read that again. I hope I didn't lose it. Excuse me. I need some water. This African air is beating me up, y'all. Vehicles. So let's say I got some money. Just say I got $100, right? Instead of putting my $100 in one stock, I put it in a basket of ETF, right? So now I can be okay. It's spread out. If something happens, the whole thing can't go down at one time. But instead, somebody took steered the staff. Now, how did they steer the staff? Corruption, crime, law, corruption, corruption, corruption. They steered them to a startup fund with no track record. This sounds like somebody said, "Hey, man, you go ahead and send me this stuff over here. I'm gonna hook y'all up. I got this great deal on Insider Deal, da 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 da." And so, guess what happened? Okay, Tobe pressed the issue at several meetings because this is how they got rid of Tobe because he was like, hold up, baby, something don't sound right." Okay, eventually in 2010, an internal audit revealed Arrowhawk paid more than $2 million to a middleman named Glenn Surgeon to land Kentucky as a client. Let me say that again. In 2010, after they studied it and said, "Wait, okay, something don't sound right. This don't even make no sense." They paid $2 million to a dude named Glenn who went out and buttered all these people up so they'd be stupid enough. And that's the word I'm gonna use because this is the most dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. If you know basic math, you know basic risk. We could even ask Diamond Dave to talk about this, maybe. This is terrible, right? Okay. So KRS chief investment officer resigned during the course of the investigation. He hear him got out of there, only to land a private sector job as a managing director at a giant investing consulting firm. What does that tell y'all? That means he hopped ship. And now he making even more money because why? He probably is the person who pushed off on this deal. Point blank period. Now, bad publicity along a meteoric performance sealed the fate of the firm. Okay. Tobe wrote in his self-published book, Kentucky Fried Pensions. 2.5 years after Kentucky selected the firm, its first ever hedge fund investment, Arrowhawk shut its doors. Y'all, listen, when we talk about 90% of businesses fail in the first year and all this other terrible stories, there's a reason. They're on a learning curve. So you're telling me Kentucky got convinced by a dude named Glenn to take literally all the state's money and throw it on a risky bet. Now, this would be my thing. If they said, "Hey, we're gonna take 10% of the money and throw it at Arrowhawk," okay. 20% of the money, throw it at okay. 25% max. Okay. But the whole fund, like this is like gambling on crack steroids. All right. So just look at this picture. This is Glenn Sterling. I don't know how this Negro did it. I don't know if he dug up where the bodies were buried, but he convinced them folks with $2 million to entrust the whole state's funds. Okay. So let's try this again. More hedge fund investments follow, and Sturgeon fitments were again more than a few. Okay, this man's getting railroaded as the person, but somebody is above him. So let's just do that. Over 7 money management firms paid Sturgeon over $5.6 million to persuade officials in KRS to entrust them with retirement dollars. Y'all, another firm paid Sturgeon 1.1 million. I need to know what this black man at. Because I ain't never heard of him, but he is Peter, get his picture and put it up high. Because this man is like the hitter. Okay, this man is a hitter. Okay, this man is doing all the stuff. Okay, I mean all of it, everything. Glenn ain't posted lately because he hiding, but he out there. So anyway, let's keep going. That's why I say I gotta see more pictures of him to believe this is a real person. All right. So long and the story short, they keep telling you that it gets sketchier and sketchier, and they losing money left and right. It says that one medium-sized state in just 5 years, from 2004 to 2008, placement agents were paid nearly $12 million to steer the Kentucky retirement system business to clients. One group called Park Hill Group, a subsidiary of Blackstone, okay, collected 3.8 million in fees. This is insane. This is insane. Y'all, this is like the biggest, this is like American greed on crack crack. The cautionary tale happens, but it failed to give Kentucky pensions officers pause. Despite scandals, Despite poor performance, the staff, with trustees' blessings, shoveled even more of the state pension dollars into alternative investments, including hedge funds and private equity. The planned 5% for hedge funds doubled to 10%. Additional funds were gambled on private equity. Today, 29% of cash funds are invested in alternatives, well above the national average. Again, if you watch this channel, what do I tell y'all? Y'all be like, well, how much gold and silver should I have? A little bit. How much pew pew pew? A little bit. How much of this? A little bit. Like stocks, bonds, real estate. Like when I mean the gambit, you need to have the gambit across the table. You don't need to be, I'm all in on gold, Ericka. Okay, well, come on now. The most important thing we can do as fiduciaries is diversify our assets. Everybody knows this. This is why I say, y'all, this is the number one thing y'all can do, because many of y'all gonna fight me on this, but owning your home and stacking a little bit of coins, no matter what anybody says on this internet. If you got a little bit of pew 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 and your safety at your house that you can sell, a little bit of ammo you can sell, a little bit of gold, a little bit of silver, you're doing better than this Kentucky State Pension Fund. You might get paid more than this Kentucky State Pension Fund from the gold and the guns you can sell at your house. I want y'all to understand that's how bad this is right now. They said alternatives add variety to the $7 billion pension fund would have all its money in stocks, bonds, or money market accounts. It's like grandma said, don't put all your eggs in one basket. So they're trying to calm them down. Hey, y'all, it's totally cool. It's fine. Everything's okay. It's fine. Now, even private equity funds, you know what I mean? Hedge funds charge 2 to 20%. 2 and 20 is what they call it. But 2% of every dollar invested plus a 20% share of any profits. That works out fees roughly 10 times what pension funds would be paid in a plain vanilla stock fund. So basically, they're making money hand over fist over you. And KRS paid $13 million in annual management fees. Now, 5 years later, that figure has ballooned to $126 million. Okay. I want y'all to understand what just happened. They were paying 13 million in fees. Now they're paying 126 million in fees. Someone inside this board literally could have put a kid through school, put them through trading, put them through Harvard, and put them on staff and got them manage it for cheaper than this. They could have put this all in REITs and got better returns than this. I'm not even being funny. All right, let's go. All right. I mean, it just gets worse. Basically, Kentucky gambled on alternatives, have proven a lousy investment, right? If they had just invested in basic index funds, matching the Russell 1000, the country's largest 1,000 public companies, KRS would have earned another $9 billion. Let me say that again. If they would have just said all this crap, right? Because they only produced $1.7 billion in earnings. So people are like, hey, it produced money. But look, if they had just stuck to the original plan that most states have by putting their money into the 1,000 largest public companies, the Russell 1000, okay, they would have made $9 billion. They would have made $9 billion. That's how crazy this is. That's how crazy this is. Do you understand what's happening here? A safe investment, as there is, short of leaving it in all cash, would have meant hundreds of millions of dollars in additional profits in those 5 years. So they barely made $1.7 billion for the fund, and they paid out $136 million in fees. Put $136 million across the screen, Peter. I hope I'm not boring y'all to death. I know this is hard, long content, but it's important. Yet, incredibly, KRS kept investing massively in alternatives. It was only in 2017 that the KRS board voted finally to trim its holding of hedge funds. Yet the fund continues to heavily invest in private equity. There's definitely been a Hail Mary attitude in Kentucky. The strategy of taking risks in hopes of making up of yawning pension deficits. See, somebody up there's got a gambling problem. And they got all the firefighters, the police, and everybody. So instead of you talking about AOC and Joe Biden and all these people, you need to be walking down to the Kentucky retirement system and beating people's asses. This should be on the news day and night for the next 10 days. But it won't be. You know why it won't be? Because we don't care about Kentucky. If this was New York, we still wouldn't hear about it. We don't care about Kentucky. It's not popular enough. It's not like it's Miami. It's not like it's Las Vegas. You know what I'm saying? And this is why we're not hearing about it. And the people in Kentucky are going to suffer greatly because of this. Look at these two people. You should go to their house and beat their legs. You should be beating their legs for all their legs have left in them because they look old and they think they're smart, and that's dangerous. All right, Chris Cole was in his mid-30s, 11 years out of earning his MBA when the state auditor approached him about the job investigating the pension funds. Tobe had been working in Louisville as a portfolio manager at a regional bank where he advised the very wealthy and large institutional advisors. But he had also got involved in local Democratic projects. So long story, this is where it talks about how Tobe was in there and he realized this is crooked as crooked can be. You can watch this later. He left government in 1999 to return to private sector. He realized the pensions were never going to make enough money, right? He knew something's off here. This is bad. Okay. And long story short, go read a lot of these for yourself. But at the end of all this conversation is teachers, firefighters, they're scared of what's going on with their pensions. Other states have it their retirement's almost 85% funded. And these people don't. And you can look up story after story after story on it. Well, I can't look at these. Again, they got this dude up here, Kentucky General, filed a lawsuit relate to the losses of the Kentucky retirement systems. It's just for show at this point. They're not going to make that money back. You dig? So again, lawsuits are going, and I just wanted to show y'all that. You can definitely look on it. So again, now they're responding to people being upset about the Russian bank investments that Kentucky pension. I mean, this can only get worse. Oh my God. They even said, listen, we're not still in there. So basically, as of yesterday, Kentucky could have been heavy into Russian retirement, Russian money, Russian banks, and just crashed, right? So even here, if you look here, value in the thousands. So they have about 780 million or something dollars. They try to claim that they don't have any more money in it. But look at the shares. Look at the shares, y'all. 863,000 shares. Good gracious. I mean, everything that could be wrong about Kentucky is there. Just about everything. Who's responsible for investing $13 million of state of Kentucky's teachers' retirement fund to a Russian bank that is now virtually insolvent? This is a massive scandal and needs to be investigated immediately. Again, this is a scandal. They've been knowing about this scandal for about since 2005. 2008, really, if you read these articles. And now, because of what's happened in Russia, they got some more scandal. They got some more scandal, y'all. This is insane. Again, 3 simple lessons. People market research and independent opinion can make all the difference. Again, y'all, they allegedly lost $774 million. And then you just talked about the 13 million they lost in Russia. So add this to the 700, put it on the screen, Peter, $774 million. Good gracious. So again, what do we learn out of this? The retirement is in your hands. Ultimately, if you own a house, and I know people get really mad at me about saying this all the time, but if you own a house, some guns and some silver, you're in a better position than most people. If they'd have just put this money in the Russell 1000, they'd have been better off. Go look up the Russell 1000 on your own. But yeah, this is insane. I'm gonna see if Diamond Dave can do a talk on this, or maybe one of the guys from Brotherhood, somebody, because I just think people gotta this is crazy. This is crazy town. So, anyways, you guys, this is your girl Ericka, Classy Climb Blog. Sorry about the earlier interruption. Getting my clothes from the lady, but hope this was helpful. Hope Peter put lots of beautiful pictures on the screen so you weren't bored to death. But definitely, you guys, this is something to watch in years to come.
Do you want to learn how to buy tax liens for less than $1,000 and get that immediate ROI return on your money? Come on over, hop into the free training. Listen, my name is Ericka Williams, author of the Classy Climb blog. I'm a 6-figure YouTuber, got $2 million in portfolio that I manage. But listen, I'm gonna show you how you can get in to tax liens, sometimes for $400, $500, $1,000. Several of my students have immediately turned around and sold their properties, sold their vacant lots, and gotten their money 10x return. Look, don't take my word on it. Come on over, hop into the free training, no cost to you, show you students, testimonials. Listen, I want you to get ahead this year, whether you work with me or not. But a lot of you are asking, how can I build my real estate portfolio? How can I make more money? How can I grow? But I only got a little bit of dough. Hey, let's get cracking. Let's work together. Hop into the free training and let me show you. This is your girl Ericka. Later.